Welcome, Starts Geniuses, to question 21, and this one's about Adam's rectangular piece of card. It is marked with grid lines. Adam is going to make 2 straight cuts along the grid lines. There we go, 2 straight cuts along the grid lines, and the 2 cuts are going to divide the rectangle into 3 shapes. There's going to be 2 squares, which are different sizes, and there's going to be 1 rectangle. Now let's just think about this for a second. The width of this grid is 5. Now, since we're trying to make a square, we could not have a square bigger than a 5 by 5 because the grid would not allow us to do a square bigger than a 5 by 5. So our squares, our possible squares, are going to be a 1 by 1, a 2 by 2, a 3 by 3, a 4 by 4, or a 5 by 5. Now, it might not be immediately obvious to you how you're going to do this. So the first thing you want to do is maybe just experiment. So start with a 1 by 1. Now, it's a good idea to use a pencil for this. So let's say if I do a 1 by 1, I would then have to make a rectangle and a square. Now, at this point, it should be pretty obvious that you're not really going to be able to make a rectangle and a square with one more cut. So if we did a 1 more cut down here, that's not making a rectangle and a square. If you did a cut down here, that's not making a rectangle and a square. If you did a cut along here, that's not making a rectangle and a square. So the 1 by 1 square to begin with doesn't really seem like it's going to be any use to us. So let's just get rid of that 1 by 1 and try something different. Well, a 2 by 2. Let's see where that takes us. So a 2 by 2, we could have that there, 2 by 2. And then actually, this leaves 5 squares along the top here. Now remember, we're trying to make 2 squares of different sizes, so you've already got a 5 there, and you could extend this line, and that then makes another square. It's 5 by 5. So we've got a 2 by 2 and a 5 by 5, which seems to tick the box of having 2 squares of different sizes. But then also we've got 1 rectangle, and our rectangle is down here, 3 by 2. So actually, this is an acceptable answer to us. But we really need to do it all in one go with 2 cuts. So once you know that they're the 2 cuts, you could basically put them in. So the first cut would be down here, and the second cut would literally be just there. And that is just 2 cuts. We've got a 2 by 2 square, we've got a 5 by 5 square, and we've got a 3 by 2 rectangle. Of course, you could do a similar sort of thing, but on the other side of the grid, so it could be symmetrical. So you could have ended up doing this instead. You could have done your line down this side instead. That's the first cut. And then there's the second cut. So there's your 5 by 5, your 2 by 2, and your 2 by 3 rectangle. There are a few different ways you could do it, but it's one of those questions where you've just got to draw some lines in with a pencil and see where it takes you, and eventually you'll get to the right answer. Don't be too worried if you don't see the correct answer straight away. Just have a little experiment with squares of different sizes. You could only have a 1 by 1, 2 by 2, 3 by 3, 4 by 4, or 5 by 5 anyway, so there are limited possibilities for this.